So as you guys may or may not know, I don't know if I included the clips. I picked up this 93 525i for parts. It's a pile of junk, but it has a nice black interior. So I'm going to pull this interior to sell it. And I figured I did an M50 removal video. Why not do a E34 interior removal for those of you guys that want to do, you know, black interior swaps and stuff like that. So I'm going to basically run you guys through, and that door is locked, run you guys through pulling a E34 interior. All right, to start, pulling out the front seats, there is two Torx, E-Torx in the back. And then what you do is I basically lean it forward and kick it at the rails, and you slide it off of two sliders that are in the front, these two. And then that's all that you gotta do. You gotta unhook your connector, which is zip tied to the seat. So just unhook that, and then boom, your seat's ready to pop out. There isn't really an order in what you need to do things on here. So I pulled out that seat. Obviously, to get the carpet out, you need to get basically everything out. The dash is pretty much last, but right now I'm doing what is the most delicate process of the, or the most delicate part of the process, pulling off the door panels. These things are like glass, they're super fragile. So to get the fronts off, up in there when you pop this cover off, you have a, I believe a T20, let me double check here. Yeah, a T20 Torx. And I find that this setup works best with the extension and the T20 at the end. You get that screw out there, which is what holds this to the door. And then you have a Phillips right here under that black cap. And then from there, you just have a bunch of clips all around. So get a trim tool and pop all the clips. You can see I'm missing one right here. Pop it in there and it pops it right up. Now the only thing holding us on is the front, which is also clips. I find that if you kind of pull up and out, that is the best way to do it. It's easy to have this piece kind of break off, so you definitely got to be careful with it. I'm actually going to set up the GoPro as I pull this off so you guys can kind of see the motion. We'll see how good I am at doing it. It literally changes car to car. Like I've had some cars, they pop off easy, just straightforward. Some, they are a huge pain in the ass. So we'll see what this one is. There's actually a, right about here is a clip that you got to pull out. So kind of just grab the armrest. I think that kind of gets it out the best. Or maybe you can come through the side here and kind of pop it. There we go. All right, so that's that. So now I should just be able to pull it kind of up and out, hopefully. Yep. All right. Yeah, so I don't know, you see I put my hand right here and kind of pull up and out a little bit and it pops them. So this cardboard right here goes down into these. So yes, you do want to pull up and then a little bit out, but mostly up. If you pull just out, you're gonna shred it. So that's that, and now all that's holding on to it is actually that middle clip I still didn't pull out all the way. But then you have the door handle string cable thingy, and on that side there's an electrical connector, and that's the front panels. Both sides are the same. That was a nicely done door card, or it was just in good condition because all the clips stayed on. This glue likes to break and these just pop off. So that is a well done door card removal. Hopefully all the other ones go as smoothly. This black piece, which slides right here, always stays because for some reason the metal bracket always bends. Like these should be up and flat, right? But it just bends, not sure why. So I'm just gonna bend it back and get that bracket off and just slide it back in the door. Rear doors are very similar to the front doors. Behind the ashtray there's a Phillips, and behind the black cap right here there's a Phillips. And then actually behind this I believe there is a Phillips, and this door doesn't even have it screwed in. So 3 Phillips in the rear, no Torx. And then the same thing with the clips. You gotta be careful. This one's already separating right here, so I gotta be careful with that. The back seat, the bottom half, just pull it up and it pops out. And then the back half has a 10 millimeter right there, a 10 millimeter in the same spot on the other side, and then two 10 millimeters in the middle. and then I believe you just gotta kind of yank it. It's a little tricky, or there might be something under the deck. I can't remember. I'm gonna check that out right now, but I think it's just the 4 and then it pops forward. Yeah, so it's just the 4, and then what you want to do is pull it from the bottom out, and then it'll just slide down like this, and then you got to undo the middle seat belts from either the bottom, or you can pull them out the top, I think. And this car actually has clean, not cracked seat belt covers, which are like worth 70 bucks a pop new. Super rare to find these not broken on a car, so that's a huge score. So I'm gonna get those seat belts out and pull the back half out. All right, up next is all the seats are out, front and back, door cards are off. So up next, I'm gonna start pulling up the center console from the back. So to do that, there's one screw right there with a cover over it. And then what you wanna do is pop this plate off, and there's 2 brackets with, I believe, 10 mils. You pop those off, and then you can pull this second half of the center partition back and off. And then from there, I'm gonna do the kick plates, which is simple, just like 3 flat heads that you have to twist 90 degrees and you pull off the kick plates. And from there, you should be able to see most of the dash's mounting brackets. So I'm going to, when I get there, I'll bring back out the camera. But until then, I'm probably just gonna grind. These are all very self-explanatory things to pull out. I can't quite remember the dash anyhow. It's been a while since I've pulled one. I believe you have to take off the center vent. I believe you have to take off the side speakers to get to stuff underneath. But I'll get there when I get there, and then I'll explain that to you guys. So I forgot to add, so you want to take the e-brake boot off, and to do that there is a zip tie. So you want to bend it inside out, and you then cut the zip tie. You can pull it off, and then there's one more screw right there underneath. Once you do that, this thing should just pop off really easily. I take back what I said about the shift knob. There's actually an Allen bolt right there that holds it on. I have never had an E34 that actually still had that bolt on. So, learning something new there. Hold on, I think this fan's creating wind noise. And then, so I got the 2 side things of the radio brackets off. So you got a screw there, screw there, screw there, screw there. I got this center piece out, and then you can see that 10 mil right there. So I pulled out the entire center unit, just popped everything out, the radio and all that, and I took off the kick plate here. But for this thing, the only thing that actually holds it is the 10 mil right here, and then you can literally just slide it back. And then these are obviously all hooked up, so you got to pop the wiring out of these switches, and I think there might be, yeah, there's wiring for the ashtray light or for the ashtray. And that's it. There's nothing else that bolts it up. I could swear other cars were different, but I guess I'm wrong. So easy to get that out, but I recommend pulling out the whole climate control faceplate there first, because that gets kind of caught up on this. So that's all done. Got to disconnect these, which is kind of a pain sometimes. And we're all out with that. All that's left then is the actual dash. Oh, B pillars, I forgot. Those got to be pulled. A, B, and C, not really part of the black interior, I guess, but those just pull off. All right, so you can see the disaster that I got going here. So basically, the dash is held on by, what you want to do is remove the, let me get my flashlight. You want to remove the center vent, and then there's a screw there and a screw there. Then there is a 13 mil on the side right there. The same thing on that side, a little bit hidden. And then the big deceit here is you gotta take the A pillars off, and there's Torx on either side there. And that should be all that hold it on, and then it should pull out. But you're gonna have all the ducting and then all this wiring loom that is like zip tied up into it. So that is probably the most frustrating part from the last dash I tried to pull. I ended up just cutting the loom, but what I'm gonna try to do is get it out without cutting everything and see how that goes. I heard that long pliers work well at getting it out. So the dashboard is out. So like I said, you do those, I believe it's 6 bolt/screw combos. You actually don't even have to do the 2 in the middle now I'm looking at it, because that whole thing comes out with the dash. But it's out, and then when you get those out, what you're left with is all of this harness that runs through it. And if you take the cluster out, take the center vent out, you can follow the harness and see at where it's zip tied. and then just cut the zip ties in each location. So I'll show you real quick. So here's the dash. So all the zip ties are like right there, back there. So just cut all those, cut them through here, through the center vent, and then cut them down under here that go to the speakers and stuff. And then you'll be able to yank that whole harness this way and down through there. And then that basically is everything that you need to pull out of there. Everything else can stay down here. And then the dash will pop up. The one thing I was getting caught up on was this screws right behind right under the bottom of the dash where the glove box would cover it. Get those two screws, unless you want to pull this whole bracket with it, but I don't think you would. So those two screws, and then she just pops right out. So we have the dash out, and now all that's left is these side panels here. The pillars, the rear deck is self-explanatory. It literally just pulls forward after you pull off those push pins in the front. The carpet now, basically the carpet just pulls up once you pull these off. I believe you might have to pull that black thing right there. There might be that might hold it in, and then you pull off the black thing here, and this back half should just lift right up. Pretty easy. You'll know like if it's getting caught on something. Now the front though on E34 is a little goofy. So the carpet actually wraps itself around behind all this heater core and heater valve junk. So what you have to do is, because you're not really gonna get all that stuff out. If you want to, I mean, have fun spending 3 extra hours. But what you do is right in the front here, cut it right there. You can see I started it, cut that, and then cut it back here as high up as you can, just kind of like that down, to slit it so that you can separate each side, and then just pull it backwards and it'll all come out. When it's out, I'll show you guys the cuts I made. It's not hard, just literally cut through it. It's scary, but that's all covered up, so don't even worry about it. Carpet is out. Like I said, the rear is easy, although right there, there's a black plastic cover that sits right there, and underneath that cover is another black thing that has a 10 mil holding it on. Under the 10 mil, and it pulls out, and then there's one twist over there, and that's the rear. And then the front is you gotta pull the gas pedal out. There's a weird spin thing right there, right by the gas pedal. Then you just gotta work around the pedal stop. And here you can see my cuts right there, and right here, and right here. And I believe that's it for the front. You can see the rust of the car has hit the foam. The car is rotted underneath. You can see in that corner, all that's rust. There's a hole there. This side's about to do the same thing. So not good, not looking good for this car. So I don't feel too bad about parting her out. But other than that, that is the whole interior. I got everything laid out right here. So that's your black interior swap if you're doing it. All my E34s are black interior, so I'm not using this. This is just for sale. So if you guys need it, let me know. I just figured I'd make a quick video walking you guys through a black interior. Not a black interior, but pulling an interior. So if you want to swap your black interior. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Like, subscribe. I have an M50 DIY. Other than that, I don't do too much like DIY stuff, more so like vlogging style. But either way, I appreciate you guys, and I'm sure this will help some people one day. So thank you guys for watching. Take it easy.